Jack Morrison stood on the command deck of Titan Station and watched the last evacuation ship disappear into the darkness of space. The small transport vessel carried 300 civilians, the final group of humans leaving Earth behind. Its engines glowed blue as it jumped to hyperspace, heading toward the colony worlds where humanity would try to rebuild. The command deck felt empty now. Most of the crew had left on earlier ships. Only 23 people remained on the massive defense station that orbited Earth. Jack looked at his reflection in the viewport glass. His brown hair was messy, his uniform wrinkled from 3 days without sleep. Dark circles surrounded his eyes. He was 35 years old and had spent half his life in the Earth Defense Force. "Sir, the scanners are picking up the alien fleet," said Lieutenant Danny Carter from his station. Danny was Jack's oldest friend, a pilot who had served with him for 8 years. He was shorter than Jack, with red hair and freckles that made him look younger than his 30 years. Jack turned from the viewport. "How long until they reach us?" 4 hours, maybe less," Danny replied. His fingers moved across the control panel, reading the data. "The computer counts over 2,000 ships. They're big, sir, really big." Maria Rodriguez looked up from her engineering station. She was a small woman with black hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her hands were always dirty from working on the station systems. "The quantum cannon is ready," she said, "but we only have enough power for maybe 10 shots." Jack nodded. The quantum cannon was humanity's most powerful weapon, built into Titan Station over 5 years. It could destroy a large ship with 1 shot, but it took enormous energy to fire. Against 2,000 enemy ships, 10 shots would not be enough. "Sir, I'm getting a message from Earth Command," said Lisa Bennett from the communications station. She was young, maybe 25, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She had joined the crew only 6 months ago, fresh from the academy. "They're ordering U.S. to evacuate immediately." Jack walked to the center of the command deck. Through the large viewport he could see Earth below. The blue and green planet looked peaceful, with white clouds swirling over the continents. It was hard to believe that in a few hours alien ships would be attacking it. "Tell Earth Command that we're staying," Jack said. Lisa's eyes widened. "Sir, the evacuation order is direct from Admiral Cooper. All remaining personnel must leave immediately." "I heard the order," Jack said calmly. "Tell them we're staying." Danny left his station and walked over to Jack. "Jack, we can't fight 2,000 ships with just 23 people." "I know the numbers, Danny. Then why are we staying?" Jack looked at his friend. "Because someone has to. The evacuation ships need time to reach the colony worlds. If the aliens follow them, humanity is finished. We can buy them time." "How much time?" Maria asked from her station. "Maybe a day, maybe 2 if we're lucky." The command deck was quiet. Everyone understood what Jack was saying. They would fight knowing they could not win. They would die to give other humans a chance to live. "Sir," Lisa said quietly, "I'm 25 years old. I joined the Defense Force to see the galaxy, not to die in a hopeless battle." Jack looked at her. "Lisa, there's an escape pod ready for you. You can still leave." She was quiet for a moment. "What about the rest of you?" "We're staying." Lisa looked around the command deck at the other crew members. Some were young like her, others were older veterans. All of them looked scared, but none of them moved toward the escape pods. "I'll stay too," she said finally. Jack smiled. "Good. Danny, take us to battle stations. Maria, start charging the quantum cannon. Lisa, send a message to all alien ships when they arrive. Tell them this is Titan Station of the Human Defense Force. Tell them if they want Earth, they'll have to go through us." The next 3 hours passed quickly. The crew prepared the station's defenses, checked weapon systems, and said goodbye to families on distant worlds through quantum communication. Jack spent the time walking through the station, talking to each crew member personally. He found Carlos Mendez in the fighter bay, preparing the station's small squadron of defense fighters. Carlos was a mechanic who had volunteered to fly combat missions even though he was not a trained pilot. "How are the fighters, Carlos?" Jack asked. "They're old, sir, but they'll fly." I've loaded them with all the missiles we have. Good, remember, your job is to protect the station's weapon systems. Don't try to be a hero, Carlos laughed. Too late for that, sir. We're all heroes now, whether we want to be or not. Jack found others throughout the station. Betty Wilson in the medical bay, preparing for wounded. Steve Parker in the power core, making sure the quantum cannon would have energy. Each person knew they were probably going to die, but each had chosen to stay and fight. Sir, they're here. Danny called over the station's communication system. Jack hurried back to the command deck. Through the viewport, he could see them. The alien ships were unlike anything humanity had ever built. They looked alive, like enormous sea creatures swimming through space. Their hulls were dark and seemed to move like skin. Some ships were small, about the size of human destroyers. Others were massive, bigger than space cities. 2,137 ships, Danny reported. The big ones are over 10 kilometers long. They're beautiful, Lisa whispered. Jack had to agree. The alien fleet was terrifying but also strangely beautiful. The ships moved in perfect formation, like a school of fish in a vast ocean. Sir, I'm getting a transmission from the alien fleet, Lisa said. Put it on the main screen. The viewport flickered and showed an alien face. It was reptilian, with green scales and yellow eyes. When it spoke, the station's computer translated the words into English. Humans of Earth, the alien said. I am War Prime Thexkar of the Vorthek Empire. Your species has been selected for conquest. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Resist and we will make you suffer. Jack stepped forward. Lisa, open. A channel to all frequencies. I want everyone in the galaxy to hear this. Sir, that will broadcast to every species with quantum communication. Hundreds of civilizations will hear you. Good. Maybe it's time the galaxy knew what humans are made of. Lisa pressed several buttons. Channel open, sir. You're broadcasting. To the entire galaxy. Jack looked directly at the alien on the screen. This is Commander Jack Morrison of the Human Defense Force. I'm in charge of Titan Station, Earth's last defense platform. You say you want to conquer Earth? You say you want us to surrender? Jack paused. Here's my answer. This is our world. These are our people. If you want Earth, you'll have to come through us. All of us. We will fight you with everything we have, and we will never surrender. The alien's eyes narrowed. You are 23 beings against our entire fleet. You cannot win. Maybe not, Jack said, but we're going to try. And maybe that's what makes us human. Jack signaled to Lisa, who closed the channel. Throughout the galaxy, hundreds of alien civilizations had heard the conversation. Most thought the humans were insane. Some were curious. A few were impressed. Sir, Danny said, they're moving toward us. All stations, prepare for battle, Jack announced. Today we show the galaxy what humanity is made of. The alien fleet began to advance on Titan Station. Jack Morrison and his crew prepared to face impossible odds, knowing they would probably die but refusing to give up without a fight. The galaxy watched and waited to see what would happen when unstoppable force met unmovable human determination. The first wave of Vorthak ships approached Titan Station like a dark cloud. Jack Morrison watched from the command deck as 50 enemy vessels broke away from the main fleet. They moved in a strange flowing pattern, their living hulls pulsing. With bioluminescent lights? Distance to enemy ships? Jack asked. 30,000 kilometers in closing, Danny Carter replied from his station. They're moving faster than our computers predicted. Jack activated the station's battle systems. Warning lights flashed red throughout Titan Station. The quantum cannon began its charging sequence, drawing power from the station's main reactor. The deep humming sound vibrated through the metal floors. Maria, how long until the quantum cannon is ready? Jack called out. 2 minutes, sir, Maria Rodriguez answered from her engineering station. Her fingers flew across the controls, monitoring power levels and system status. But I'm seeing some problems with the cooling system. Can you fix it? I'll try, but if we fire too many shots too quickly, the cannon might overheat. Jack nodded. They only had enough power for 10 shots anyway. Overheating was the least of their problems. "Sir, I'm picking up transmissions from the alien ships," Lisa Bennett said. She was wearing a communication headset, listening to the enemy messages. "The computer is translating them." "They're talking about us. What are they saying?" "They seem confused, sir." "They keep asking each other why we haven't surrendered yet." One of them called us the strange mammals who do not understand death. Jack almost smiled. The aliens didn't understand humans at all. They thought everyone would surrender when facing impossible odds. They had never met a species that would fight knowing they couldn't win. "Danny, launch the fighters," Jack ordered. "Sir, we only have 12 fighters, and most of our pilots are mechanics and technicians." "They're not trained for combat. Launch them anyway." "We need to buy time for the quantum cannon." Danny pressed the launch button. In the fighter bay, 12 small ships powered up their engines. Carlos Mendez was in the lead fighter, along with 11 other crew members who had volunteered to fly. They were not real pilots, but they knew how to fly and they knew how to fight. The fighters launched from Titan Station like angry wasps. They were tiny compared to the alien ships, but they moved fast and carried powerful missiles. Carlos led, then in a tight formation toward the approaching enemy. "Fighters away," Danny reported. "Carlos is leading them to intercept the enemy vanguard." Jack watched the tactical display. The 12 human fighters looked like dots of light racing toward the alien ships. The enemy vessels were much larger and more powerful, but the fighters were fast and hard to hit. "Sir, quantum cannon is ready," Maria announced. Jack studied the enemy formation. The alien ships were spreading out, trying to surround the station. He needed to pick his targets carefully. "Target the largest ship in the center," Jack ordered. "Fire when ready." The quantum cannon discharged with a brilliant flash of blue light. The energy beam crossed space in an instant and struck the alien ship directly. The vessel's living hull bubbled and burned, then exploded in a shower of organic debris. "Direct hit," Danny shouted. "The target is destroyed." But Jack was already looking at the next target. The alien ships were not retreating. Instead, they were accelerating toward the station. "They're not afraid," Jack said quietly. "Sir?" Lisa asked. "Most species would pull back after losing a ship. These aliens are not afraid of dying." The Vortex ships opened fire with weapons that looked like living tentacles. Purple energy beams lashed out at Titan Station. The station's shields absorbed most of the damage, but Jack could feel the impacts through the deck plating. "Shields at 80%, Maria reported. "But they're draining fast." Carlos and his fighters reached the enemy ships. The small human vessels darted between the larger alien ships, firing missiles and laser cannons. Several enemy ships returned. "Fire!" their tentacle weapons trying to swat the fighters like insects. "Carlos to station," came the pilot's voice over the radio. "These alien ships are tough. Our missiles are barely scratching them." Jack grabbed the communication microphone. "Carlos, don't try to destroy them. Just keep them busy. Hit and run." "Understood, sir." The fighters changed tactics, making quick attacks and then speeding away before the aliens could target them. It was working, but Jack knew it wouldn't last long. The enemy ships were learning to predict the fighters' movements. "Sir, I'm getting more alien transmissions," Lisa said. "They're talking about us again." "What now?" "They're saying we fight like the ancient ones from their mythology. They seem surprised that we're not surrendering." Jack fired the quantum cannon again, destroying another alien ship. The remaining enemy vessels continued their advance, firing their purple energy weapons. Titan Station's shields flickered under the assault. "Shields at 50%, Maria called out. One of the human fighters exploded in a ball of fire. Carlos's voice crackled over the radio. "We lost Jenny Parker. Her fighter took a direct hit." Jack closed his eyes for a moment. Jenny Parker had been a maintenance worker who volunteered to fly a fighter. She had a daughter on one of the evacuation ships. Now she was dead, and her sacrifice had bought them maybe 30 seconds. "All fighters, continue the attack," Jack ordered. "Make every shot count." The battle continued for 20 minutes. Jack fired the quantum cannon 6 more times, destroying 5 more alien ships. The human fighters destroyed 2 smaller vessels with concentrated missile attacks. But the cost was heavy. Only 4 human fighters remained, and Titan Station's shields were failing. "Sir, I'm getting a transmission from the alien fleet commander," Lisa said. "War Prime Thexkar wants to talk to you." Jack nodded. "Put him on screen." The reptilian alien appeared on the main viewer. His yellow eyes seemed to glow with curiosity. "Human." "Commander," Thexkar said, "you have fought well. Your species shows unexpected courage, but you cannot win. Why do you continue this hopeless battle?" Jack stepped forward. "Because this is our home. Because we have people to protect. Because sometimes fighting is more important than winning." "Your words make no sense. Fighting without hope of victory is madness." "Maybe," Jack said, "but it's our madness. And it's what makes us human." Thexkar tilted his head. "You speak of concepts we do not understand. The strong conquer the weak. The weak surrender or die. This is the natural order." "Not our natural order," Jack replied. "We believe in fighting for what's right, even when we can't win. We believe in protecting the innocent, even if it costs us everything." The alien commander was quiet for a moment. "You are a strange species. Your thoughts are difficult to comprehend." "Good," Jack said. "Maybe that will give you something to think about." Jack signaled to Lisa to close the channel. Around the galaxy, millions of alien beings were watching this conversation. Some were confused by human behavior. Others were beginning to understand that humans were different from any species they had encountered. "Sir, the fighters are running low on missiles," Danny reported. "Carlos says they can make maybe 2 more attack runs." "Tell them to fall back to the station," Jack ordered. "They've done enough." The 4 remaining fighters retreated to Titan Station. Carlos's fighter was damaged, trailing smoke from one engine. The other 3 pilots were wounded, but still flying. "Quantum cannon recharged," Maria announced. "But we're down to our last power cells, maybe 2 shots left." Jack looked at the tactical display. The first wave of alien ships was almost destroyed, but the main fleet was still approaching. 2,000 ships would reach them in less than an hour. "Sir," Lisa said quietly, "I'm monitoring communications from across the galaxy. Other species are watching our battle. The Altarian Federation is debating whether to help us. Lusorian. Empire is calling us worthy opponents. Even the Crystalline Collective is interested." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Are any of them actually going to help?" "Unknown, sir, but they're talking about us. That's something." Jack nodded. For the first time in galactic history, humans were getting attention from advanced alien civilizations. Unfortunately, it was because they were fighting a hopeless battle against impossible odds. "Sir, second wave incoming," Danny announced. 100 ships, much larger than the first wave." Jack looked at his crew. They were tired, scared, and running out of options. But none of them suggested surrender. "All right, people," Jack said. "Let's show the galaxy what humans do when things get tough. We get tougher." The second wave of Vorthak ships approached Titan Station. Jack Morrison and his crew prepared for the next phase of their hopeless battle, knowing that each moment they survived was one more moment for humanity to escape to safety. The second wave of Vorthak ships surrounded Titan Station like wolves circling wounded prey. Jack Morrison watched from the command deck as 100 massive alien vessels moved into attack position. These ships were different from the first wave. They were bigger, darker, and covered with weapon ports that glowed like angry red eyes. "Maria, status on the quantum cannon?" Jack asked. "We have enough power for 2 shots, maybe 3 if I reroute all non-essential systems," Maria Rodriguez replied. Her face was pale and streaked with sweat. She had been working without rest for 6 hours, trying to keep the station's systems running. Jack nodded. 2 shots against 100 ships. The math was simple and hopeless. "Danny, how are our fighters?" "Carlos is back in the fighter bay trying to repair his engine. The other 3 pilots are wounded but ready to fly," Danny Carter answered. "But sir, we're out of missiles." The fighters only have laser cannons now. Jack looked at the tactical display. The alien ships were taking their time, moving slowly. Into perfect formation. They were not rushing this attack. They wanted to destroy Titan Station completely. "Sir, I'm getting another transmission from War Prime Thexcar," Lisa Bennett said from her communications station. "Put him on screen." The reptilian alien commander appeared on the main viewer. His yellow eyes seemed brighter now, more interested. "Human Commander Morrison," Thexcar said, "you have impressed me. Your species fights with honor, even in defeat. I offer you one final chance to surrender. Join the Vorthak Empire, and your people will be treated well." Jack stepped forward. "What happens to Earth?" "Earth will become a Vorthak colony world. Your species will serve the Empire. As slaves, as servants, there is a difference." Jack shook his head. "No deal. We'd rather die free than live as slaves." Thexcar's head tilted. "You choose death over service?" "This makes no sense." "It makes perfect sense to us," Jack replied. "Freedom is worth dying for. Some things are more important than just staying alive." The alien commander was quiet for a long moment. "You speak of concepts that are strange to us. The Vorthak Empire has conquered 300 worlds. Never have we encountered a species that chooses death over submission." "Then you've never met humans before?" "No," Thexcar said slowly. "We have not. And perhaps that is why you fascinate us." Jack realized something important. The aliens were not just trying to conquer Earth, they were trying to understand humans. The Vorthak Empire had never met a species that would fight knowing they couldn't win. "Tell me, Human Morrison," Thexcar continued, "what drives your species to such madness? What makes you fight when victory is impossible?" Jack thought about the question. How could he explain human nature to an alien who had never experienced it? "We fight because we love," Jack said finally. "We love our families, our friends, our home. We love the idea that people should be free to choose their own lives. When someone threatens what we love, we fight back, even if we can't win." "Love?" Thexcar repeated the word as if it tasted strange. "You fight because of emotion?" "We fight because we care about something more than ourselves." The alien commander was quiet again. Around the galaxy, millions of beings were listening to this conversation. The Altarian Federation's philosophers were debating human psychology. The Saurian Empire's warriors were studying human tactics. Even the mysterious crystalline collective was analyzing human behavior patterns. "Enough talk," Thexcar said finally. "You will die with honor, Human Morrison, but you will still die." The communication ended. Jack turned to his crew. "All right. People, you heard him. They're going to kill us, but they respect us. I guess that's something." Maria looked up from her engineering station. "Sir, I have an idea. It's crazy, but it might work. I'm listening. We can overload the quantum cannon. Instead of firing controlled shots, we can release all the station's power at once. It would create a massive energy discharge." "How massive?" "Big enough to destroy everything within 50,000 kilometers. Including us," Jack understood. Maria was suggesting they turn Titan Station into a giant bomb. It would destroy the station and everyone on it, but it would also take out most of the alien fleet. "That's suicide," Danny said. "We're already dead," Jack replied. "The question is whether we die for nothing or die taking as many of them with us as possible." Lisa looked up from her station. "Sir, if we do this, the evacuation ships will have more time to reach safety. The aliens will have to rebuild their fleet before they can chase humanity to the colony worlds." Jack nodded. "How long do we have before the cannon overloads?" "Maybe 30 minutes to set it up," Maria said. "Then about 10 minutes before it explodes." "Do it," Jack ordered. "Danny, get on the radio to Carlos. Tell him to take the fighters and get as far away as possible. No point in them dying with us." "Sir, Carlos won't leave?" "None of the fighter pilots will." "Then don't tell them what we're planning. Just tell them to make one final attack run on the alien fleet. Keep them busy while Maria sets up the overload." Danny nodded and activated the radio. "Carlos, this is..." "Danny, we need you to make one more attack on the alien ships. Hit them hard and keep them distracted. Roger that, Carlos replied. We're launching now. The 4 remaining fighters launched from Titan Station. They were damaged and low on ammunition, but they flew toward the alien fleet with determination. Jack watched them go, knowing he was sending them to their deaths. Maria, how long until the overload is ready? 20 minutes, sir. I'm rerouting all power to the quantum cannon. We'll lose life support, artificial gravity, and most of our sensors. Do it. The lights on the command deck dimmed as Maria redirected power to the quantum cannon. The deep humming sound grew louder, vibrating through the station's hull. Warning alarms began to sound. Sir, I'm monitoring alien communications, Lisa said. They're confused by our energy readings. They know something is wrong, but they can't figure out what. Jack smiled grimly. Good, let them wonder. The alien ships began their final attack. Purple energy beams lashed out at Titan Station from all directions. The station's shields collapsed within minutes. Enemy fire began hitting the hull directly, tearing holes in the metal plating. Hull breaches on decks 4, 7, and 12. Maria reported. Emergency force fields are holding, but barely. Carlos and his fighters were making their final attack run. The small human ships darted between the alien vessels, firing their laser cannons at weapon ports and sensor arrays. They couldn't destroy the large ships, but they could damage them. Carlos to station, came the pilot's voice. We're taking heavy fire, lost Pete Johnson. His fighter just exploded. Jack grabbed the radio. Carlos, get out of there. You've done enough. Negative, sir. We're staying until the end. The station shook as more alien weapons hit the hull. Jack could hear the sound of metal tearing and atmosphere escaping. They were running out of time. Maria, how much longer? 10 minutes until overload. But sir, some of the alien ships are moving away. I think they're starting to figure out what we're doing. Jack looked at the tactical display. About half the alien fleet was pulling back to a safe distance. The other half was still attacking the station. Sir, War Prime Nexcar is calling again, Lisa said. Put him on. The alien commander appeared on the screen. His yellow eyes were wide with something that might have been fear. Human Morrison, Nexcar said. Our sensors detect massive energy buildup in your weapon. What are you doing? Jack smiled. We're making sure you remember this day. We're making sure the galaxy remembers what happens when you attack humans. You are going to destroy your own station? We're going to destroy your fleet. And ourselves. But mostly your fleet? Nexcar's eyes narrowed. You are truly insane. Maybe, but we're taking you with us. The alien commander cut the transmission. Jack could see the Vorthak ships frantically trying to move away from the station. But they were too close and moving too slowly. 5 minutes until overload, Maria announced. The quantum cannon is beyond critical. I can't stop it now even if I wanted to. Jack activated the station's communication system. This is Commander Jack Morrison to all crew. It's been an honor serving with you. We're going to show the galaxy what humans are made of. Around the galaxy, millions of beings watched and waited. The humans were about to do something that no species had ever done before. They were going to destroy themselves to hurt their enemies. 2 minutes until overload, Maria said. Jack looked at his crew. Danny was still at his station, monitoring the alien fleet. Lisa was recording everything for the galactic audience. Maria was making final adjustments to the quantum cannon. 1 minute until overload, Maria announced. Jack stood in the center of the command deck and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, human children were growing up on colony worlds. They would be free because of what happened here today. 30 seconds, Maria called out. Jack activated the communication system one final time. This is Commander Jack Morrison of the Human Defense Force. We are not the strongest species in the galaxy. We are not the smartest. But we are the species that will never give up. Remember that. The quantum cannon reached critical overload. Energy beyond imagination built up in the weapon's core. The station began to shake apart. 10 seconds, Maria whispered. Jack closed his eyes and thought about Earth, blue skies, green grass, and the sound of children laughing. The explosion of Titan Station lit up space like a newborn star. The quantum cannon's overload released energy equivalent to a small sun, creating a sphere of destruction 50,000 kilometers wide. When the light faded, War Prime Nexgar-S flagship was gone. 47 other Vorthik ships had been destroyed in the blast. The remaining alien vessels floated in space, their crews stunned by what they had witnessed, but in the wreckage of Titan Station, something impossible had happened. A small section of the command deck had survived, protected by an emergency force field that activated during the explosion. Jack Morrison floated in the debris, unconscious but alive. Lisa Bennett was beside him, bleeding from a head wound, but breathing. They were the only survivors of the 23 crew members who had chosen to stay and fight. Jack woke up slowly, his ears ringing and his vision blurry. The command deck was gone. He was floating in a small bubble of air surrounded by twisted metal and broken equipment. Emergency lights flickered weakly, casting strange shadows on the debris. "Lisa?" Jack called out weakly. "I'm here, sir," Lisa answered. Her voice was shaky. "I think we're alive." Jack looked around at what remained of their station. "How is that possible?" "Emergency force field," Lisa said. "It activated automatically when the quantum cannon exploded. We're in an emergency survival pod." Jack tried to move and felt pain shoot through his left arm. It was broken. His uniform was torn and he had cuts on his face and hands. But he was alive when he should have been dead. "How long have we been unconscious?" Jack asked. Lisa checked her damaged wrist computer. "About 6 hours. Sir, I'm picking up radio signals. The alien fleet is still here, but they're not attacking." Jack looked out through a small viewport in the survival pod. He could see Vorthak ships in the distance, but they were not moving toward Earth. They seemed to be waiting for something. "Sir, I'm getting a transmission," Lisa said. She activated a small emergency radio. "It's from the alien fleet." "Put it through." A new voice came through the radio, speaking in the Vorthik language. The survival pod's computer translated the words into English. "This is War Prime Vexter, brother of the fallen Nexgar. Human survivors, you will surrender immediately or face total destruction." Jack activated the radio transmitter. "This is Commander Jack Morrison. We're not surrendering." There was a long pause. "You are two beings in a damaged pod. You have no weapons. What can you possibly do to resist us?" "We can keep fighting," Jack said simply. Another pause. "You destroyed 48 of our ships and killed my brother. Yet you still refuse to surrender." "Why?" "Because that's what humans do," Jack replied. "We don't give up." Vexter's voice came through the radio again, but this time he sounded different. Less angry, more curious. "Human Morrison, you have shown courage that defies logic. The Vorthik Empire respects worthy enemies. I will give you 1 hour to consider surrender. After that, we will destroy your pod and proceed to conquer your world." The transmission ended. Jack and Lisa floated in their small survival pod, surrounded by the wreckage of Titan Station and the alien fleet that had come to conquer Earth. "Sir, what do we do now?" Lisa asked. Jack looked at the broken equipment around them. "We do what we've been doing. We fight." "With what? We don't have any weapons," Jack smiled grimly. "We have something better. We have the attention of the entire galaxy." Lisa checked her communications equipment. "Sir, you're right. I'm picking up transmissions from dozens of alien civilizations. They're all talking about us. What are they saying?" Lisa listened to her headset for a moment. "The Altarian Federation is having emergency meetings. The Saurian Empire is calling us warriors of honor. The Kaleri Union is calculating the economic impact of our resistance. Everyone is watching." Jack nodded. "Good, let them watch. Let them see what happens when you attack humans." Over the next 30 minutes, something unprecedented began to happen across the galaxy. On the peaceful world of Altaria Prime, the Federation Council debated, for the first time in their history, whether to abandon their policy of neutrality. The humans had shown them that sometimes fighting was necessary to protect what you loved. In the Saurian Empire, War Chief Korak listened to recordings of Jack Morrison's final speech. The reptilian warrior had fought in hundreds of battles, but he had never heard such courage in the face of certain death. He began to wonder if the Saurians had been wrong to ignore this young species called humanity on the merchant world of Kaleri Station. Trademaster Vel calculated the profits that could be made from human determination. A species that would fight impossible odds for their beliefs would be valuable allies in business and war, even in the crystal cities of the collective. The geometric beings analyzed human behavior patterns. They found something fascinating in the way humans could choose sacrifice over survival. It was a concept their logical minds had never encountered. Back in the survival pod, Jack and Lisa monitored these conversations from across the galaxy. For the first time in galactic history, multiple alien civilizations were discussing the same topic, humanity. "Sir, I'm getting another transmission," Lisa said. "It's not from the Vorthak fleet. Who is it?" "Unknown. The signal is coming from outside the solar system." Jack activated the radio. "This is Commander Jack Morrison." A new voice spoke, different from any they had heard before. It was melodic like music. "Commander Morrison, this is Ambassador Lyra of the Altarian Federation. Your species has captured our attention." Jack was surprised. The Altarian Federation had never contacted humanity before. They were one of the oldest and most peaceful civilizations in the galaxy. "Ambassador Lyra, this is an honor, but I'm not sure why you're calling us now." "Because you have shown us something we had forgotten. You have reminded us that some things are worth fighting for, even when the odds are hopeless." Jack felt a spark of hope. "Are you offering to help us?" "The Federation Council is debating that question now. But I wanted you to know that your courage has not gone unnoticed." The transmission ended. Lisa looked at Jack with wide eyes. "Sir, do you think they might actually help us?" "I don't know," Jack said. "But even if they don't, we've accomplished something important." "What's that?" "We've shown the galaxy that humans don't give up. That message will reach the colony worlds. It will reach every human who's still alive. They'll know that Earth's defenders fought to the end." Lisa nodded. "That's something, at least." Jack checked the time on his damaged wrist computer. They had been given 1 hour to surrender. 50 minutes had passed. "Sir, War Prime Vexter is calling again," Lisa said. "Put him through." The alien commander's voice came through the radio. "Human Morrison, your time is almost finished. Have you decided to surrender?" "Yes," Jack said. "I've decided." There was a pause. "And your decision?" "We will never surrender. If you want to destroy us, go ahead. But know that every being in the galaxy is watching. They'll remember what you did here." Vexter was quiet for a long moment. "You are remarkable. Human Morrison, my brother was right about your species. You truly are unlike any beings we have encountered." Good," Jack said. "Maybe that will give you something to think about." "Indeed it will. But thinking will not save you. In 10 minutes, we will destroy your pod and then proceed to your world." The transmission ended. Jack and Lisa floated in their survival pod, waiting for the end. Around them, the Vorthak fleet began to move into position for the final attack. But across the galaxy, something was stirring. The Altarian Federation's emergency session had reached a decision. The Saurian Empire's war chief Korak was preparing his battle fleet. The Kaleri Union's merchant princes were calculating the value of human friendship. Even the mysterious crystalline collective was moving their geometric ships toward Earth. Jack Morrison had faced the invasion alone and shown the galaxy what humans were made of. Now the galaxy was beginning to respond. "Sir," Lisa said suddenly, "I'm picking up new signals. Multiple fleets are moving toward our solar system." Jack looked at her with surprise. "Vorthak reinforcements?" "No, sir," Lisa said with growing excitement. "I think these are the good guys." In the distance, space began to shimmer as ships dropped out of hyperspace. The galaxy had watched Jack Morrison face the invasion alone. Now they were coming to stand beside him. The first ships to arrive were sleek and silver, moving through space like liquid metal. Jack Morrison recognized them from military databases as Altarian Federation vessels. He had never seen one in person before. They were beautiful, designed by a species that valued peace and harmony above all else. "Sir, I count 20 Altarian ships, Lisa Bennett reported from her position in the survival pod. They're taking position between us and the Vorthek fleet. Jack activated the emergency. Radio, Altarian vessels, this is Commander Jack Morrison. Why are you here? A melodic voice responded. Commander Morrison, this is Admiral Siran of the Altarian Peace Fleet. We are here because you have shown us that sometimes peace must be defended with strength. Jack was amazed. The Altarians had been pacifists for over 1,000 years. They had never involved themselves in galactic conflicts. Yet here they were, ready to fight beside humanity. More ships began appearing. The next wave was different, larger, more aggressive-looking, painted in dark colors with weapon ports clearly visible. These were Saurian Empire warships built by a species of warrior reptiles who valued honor above life itself. "Attention, human survivors," came a harsh voice over the radio. "This is War Chief Korak of the Saurian Battle Fleet. Your courage has impressed us. We claim the right to fight beside you." Jack smiled despite their desperate situation. "War Chief Korak, you are welcome here." The third fleet to arrive was the most surprising of all. Hundreds of merchant ships from the Kaleri Union dropped out of hyperspace. These vessels were not designed for war, but they had been hastily fitted with weapons and shields. The profit-minded Kaleri had decided that human determination was a valuable investment. "Commander Morrison," came a smooth voice, "this is Trademaster Vel of the Kaleri Defense Consortium. We have calculated that your species represents significant long-term value. We are here to protect our investment." Jack laughed. "Trademaster Vel, I'm glad we're profitable." The most mysterious arrival came last. Strange geometric ships materialized in perfect formation, their crystalline hulls reflecting light in patterns that hurt to look at directly. The crystalline collective had never spoken to biological species before, but they had been fascinated by human emotional responses. "Biological entities," came a voice that sounded like music played on crystal instruments, "we find your behavior patterns worthy of study. We will observe your conflict and provide assistance as needed." Jack looked out at the assembled fleet. Dozens of alien civilizations had come to stand with humanity. Ships from species that had never worked together before were now forming a unified battle line. "Lisa, how many ships total?" Lisa checked her sensors. "Over 300, sir. The entire Vorthuk fleet is outnumbered 3-1. War Prime Vexler's voice came over the radio, sounding confused and angry. "What is the meaning of this? These species have no interest in your conflict." Jack activated his transmitter. "War Prime Vexler, meet the galaxy." Turns out they don't like bullies. Admiral Siran of the Altarian Federation spoke next. "War Prime Vexler, you are ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. The Galactic Alliance will not tolerate unprovoked aggression." "Galactic Alliance?" Vexler replied. "No such organization exists." "It does now," War Chief Korak growled over the radio. "These humans have shown us what we should have known long ago. When good beings stand together, evil cannot triumph." Jack felt a surge of emotion. For the first time in galactic history, multiple civilizations were working together, and it had happened because humanity refused to give up. "War Prime Vexler," Jack said over the radio, "you came here to conquer a weak, isolated species. Instead, you found something you weren't expecting. You found beings who would rather die than surrender their freedom. And you found out that the galaxy was watching." Vexler was quiet for a long moment. "Human Morrison, you have cost the Vorthik Empire greatly." "My brother is dead. 48 ships are destroyed. And now we face an enemy we cannot defeat." "You could withdraw," Jack suggested. "Leave Earth alone and never come back. The Empire does not retreat." "Then the Empire is going to learn a hard lesson today." The assembled galactic fleet began to advance on the Vorthak vessels. The alien invaders were outnumbered and surrounded, but they prepared to fight anyway. The Vorthik Empire had conquered 300 worlds through overwhelming force. They had never faced united opposition before. The battle that followed was unlike anything in galactic history. Altarian peace ships fought alongside Saurian warships. Kalari merchant vessels coordinated with crystalline collective geometry ships. Species that had never spoken to each other worked together as if they had been allies for centuries. Jack and Lisa watched from their survival pod as energy beams and missile salvos filled space around them. The combined galactic fleet was devastating. The Vorthek invasion force. Ship after ship exploded or surrendered. "Sir, the Vorthek fleet is breaking apart," Lisa reported. "Most of their ships are trying to retreat." War Prime Vexler's voice came over the radio one final time. "Human Morrison, you have achieved something unprecedented. You have united the galaxy against us. The Vorthek Empire will remember this day." "I hope you do," Jack replied. "And I hope you remember this. Humans don't start fights, but we finish them. Leave our people alone, and we'll leave you alone. Attack us again, and the galaxy will stop you." The surviving Vorthak ships jumped to hyperspace, fleeing Earth's solar system. The invasion was over. Admiral Siren's voice came over the radio. "Commander Morrison, we are sending a rescue ship to retrieve you and Officer Bennett. You require medical attention." "Thank you, Admiral. But first, I have something to say to everyone." Jack activated the general communication frequency, broadcasting. "To all the ships around Earth and to listening posts across the galaxy, to all the species who came to help us today, humanity thanks you. You didn't have to come. You didn't owe us anything. But you came anyway, because you believe that freedom is worth fighting for. Today you proved that good beings can stand together against evil." Jack paused, looking out at the assembled fleet of alien ships. The Vorthek Empire thought they were conquering a weak, isolated species. Instead, they discovered something that scared them more than any weapon. They discovered that when you attack one free species, you attack the idea of freedom itself, and that idea is worth defending. Trade Master Vel's voice came over the radio. "Commander Morrison, the Kalari Union proposes formalizing this alliance. A permanent organization to defend against future threats," War Chief Korak agreed. "The Saurian Empire supports this proposal. Today we fought as one people. We should remain as one people." Admiral Siren spoke for the Altarians. "The Federation Council has already approved joining such an organization. We propose calling it the Galactic Defense Alliance." Even the Crystalline Collective added their support. "We find this cooperation ... logical. We will participate," Jack smiled. "Sounds good to me, but I think we should add something to the charter. The alliance doesn't exist to conquer or control. It exists to protect freedom and defend the innocent. Anyone who shares those values is welcome." 6 months later, Jack Morrison stood on the observation deck of New Titan Station, the rebuilt Earth defense platform. He wore the uniform of an admiral in the newly formed Galactic Defense Alliance Navy. Earth had become the headquarters of the galaxy's first truly united government. Lisa Bennett, now promoted to captain, stood beside him. "Sir, the colony ships are returning. All the evacuated civilians want to come home." Jack nodded. "Good? Earth should be full of life again?" Through the viewport, Jack could see ships from dozens of species docked at the station. Altarian peace vessels worked alongside Saurian warships. Kalari traders exchanged goods with crystalline collective scientists. The galaxy had learned to work together. "Sir," Lisa said, "do you ever wonder what would have happened if we had surrendered that first day?" Jack thought about it. The Vorthik would have conquered Earth, humanity would have become slaves, and the galaxy would still be a collection of isolated species, each afraid to help the others. So our refusal to give up changed everything? "Sometimes," Jack said, "the most important battles are the ones that seem hopeless. We didn't fight because we thought we could win. We fought because it was the right thing to do. And somehow that made all the difference." Jack looked out at the stars, thinking about the future. The galaxy was no longer a dark place where the strong conquered the weak. It had become something better, a place where good beings stood together to protect what they loved. The galaxy had watched as Jack Morrison faced the invasion alone. They had stayed to fight beside him. And in doing so, they had all become something greater than they had ever been before.